Where you going? What are you drinking tonight? Let's keep 'em flowing. Where do you come from? Where are you going? What are you feeling tonight? And what are you showing? Where do you come from? 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 Where are you going? What are you drinking tonight? Let's keep 'em flowing.
Hello, good morning. Oh my gosh, I'm coming from the black void. I need to change that up. What's going on?
It's a nice
This
voice.
is Super PlayStation Bros. We're coming at you with everything in the PlayStation universe, going over PSVR2, PlayStation 5 news. We got new games coming out, a free-to-play weekend, which Dorgon and I have different perspectives on. There is a wide variety of stuff happening in the PlayStation world this week, as well as Santa Monaco is busy working on a new game, and Bend Studios also announcing some things. So we're going to get into all of that. Stay tuned for Super PlayStation Bros this week. But as I like to start, as we like to get into it, Dorgon, what have you been picking up the sticks and playing on this week?
Pretty much everything. I've been all over the show this week. I've had a bit of Gran Turismo 7 time. I've had a bit of Hi-Fi Rush time. Yes, I've been playing an Xbox game on PlayStation and loving every second of it. I've been playing a bit of Beat Saber, Crossfire Sierra Squad. I've been playing a bit of Destiny 2. I've got back into the fold of that one. With reason, which you'll find out in a month or so. But it's been a bit of an everything week. I've not really focused on one thing, and I've had a great time jumping around and having a bunch of different experiences. Which is very different to yourself, isn't it?
I'm just gonna throw this out as a rumor. Keep in mind, I know nothing, but my rumor is that Dorgon has secret access to PSVR2 Destiny 2 access. But we'll see. We'll see in the future. So stay tuned to hear more updates on Destiny 2 getting PSVR2 support.
That would be absolutely sick, like physically sickening. I could not play Destiny 2 in VR. I don't think anybody could.
I don't know. Imagine like a Nova bomb. You're like, Kamehameha. Oh, I missed it.
Yeah. Actually throwing it would be cool, but I can't, like, the space wizardry, it'd be the jumping and the floating. You'd just be like, I'm not in. I'm not in.
Not to imagine doing that, the Titan, flying and crashing. That'd be cool in VR.
It's the backflip for the Hunter Strand Whip. Super.
Oh.
Cause you do. No. No.
Dodging, just throw up. But yes, let's get into what else have you been gaming on?
Me, that was all I've done. I passed it over to
Okay.
you through a weird VR Destiny 2 thing at us.
We roll with it. We roll with it. Well, I have been picking up the sticks playing Helldivers 2, as well as Final Fantasy 7. And Final Fantasy 7 has been getting some updates, which I do like to see. Graphics are being updated. I'm actually playing it. Typically, I play games on performance mode. This time I'm playing on graphics because it's just able to have that fidelity to it where performance mode is just not holding the frames at this current patch. But we're happy to see that a lot of these small little bugs like camera positions and improved frame rate and overall game stability, that was the biggest one. Some typos and omissions in text. Honestly, sometimes I just chop that up to translation. But I guess there was some things they needed to fix. And difficulty settings for Gears and Gambit. Okay, I will never play Gears and Gambit on a harder difficulty. As soon as I finished Gears and Gambit, I was out of there. Out of there. That was not my favorite of the mini games. But it's a lot of fun. Again, high production, and they are now bringing some updates to improve game stability and performance. And as Ray says, Tifa has nice. Oh, I see what he wrote there.
I wondered why you were reading that particular message out. Obviously, you hadn't fully read it.
Well, I love the game. I'm in chapter 11 right now, on to Nibelheim, and we're coming around hopefully to the end because my PlayStation is telling me I'm 75% complete the game. So I'll be looking to hopefully pump out a review one of these days. This game is looking to be one I'd love to get in and back onto that review train. So look out for that. Some real great games, though. Look forward to it. Oh, what's going on? Sour Blow! Nice. Thanks for stopping on in. If you guys didn't know, Rudigs will be appearing on Xbox International Podcast. What? Yes, that's right. I'm crossing the aisle. Crossing the aisle.
What are you betraying me? Why, Rudigs? What are you doing? Explain thyself.
We are going to
great.
be chatting games, exploring the world of how Xbox and PlayStation are coming together, and talking games like we all like to do. So look out for that. Going to be later today. Check out the socials. I'll be posting it. It's going to be a great time.
You're being called out in chat. You're getting majorly called out. Even by the guy whose show you're going to be on.
Wow, call me a traitor. You know what? I'm crossing the aisle. That's what I'm doing. I'm crossing the aisle. That's what that's called. Not traitor-isms, all right?
Hey.
Look for...
I'm the only one who gets to call him a traitor. I didn't know about this until just.
Yeah. I've been busy. Yes, we should have discussed it this morning when we were talking. But there's been a lot going on. Dorgon, dispatch him. Oh my gosh, I'm getting scalded here.
When you watch that show, like, just make sure that Sourbloww can't do anything than read out roasts of Rudigs from chat. That's all I need from you guys. So watch that show, give Sourbloww all of the love that he deserves for putting on a great show, but make sure that every message that involves Rudigs is just a blast on him. Just absolutely take him to town.
Hey, I love games. We're gonna get into chatting to games, so it's cool to be with other people speaking on it, being a panelist. So I look forward to it. Those guys put on an awesome show. Yes, it'll be 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. So check me out there. But as we continue with our, yes, I know Dorgon, you'll be with us at like 1 a.m. in the morning for you. But
it's some stupid time over here, yeah.
Oh, look at that. They were just going after me to get to you, Dorgon. See? We want you.
Me. That's what it's all about. Anyhow, we're wasting time. You've got a hard finish time. Let's get on with the show.
I do. Oh my god, thanks for reminding me. Let's get on to what's been going on in gaming this week. Let's start off with PlayStation 5 update to share gameplay clips to help others play. So this is kind of like having your tips section infused with your game clips from other people. So it's kind of like having YouTube on the go, really. I think it's a great feature. It's just easier access to what I would go search on for YouTube, right? You know, if I'm stuck somewhere, I'd search into YouTube, blah, 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 what's this thing? Now I'll just go to game help and tips, and there'll be a clip from someone, and it'll be exactly what I need to see.
Yeah, it sounds good. It's early days. I don't even think it's out for beta testing at the moment. I think it's in alpha. But it's a really helpful thing. Game help, game hints on PlayStation are a fantastic tool. You and I have used them before. We've used it with share screen as well when we were going through Returnal. It makes life so much better. If you're really stuck and you don't know what to do, the hint is there. It's on the console. You don't need to leave the game, and what you're doing, like you said, like the current now is you pick up your phone, you start typing, and you try to guess what the algorithm has it under. You just type away until you maybe eventually find it. But with game hints, it's going to be there for you. Now, they do say there's going to be a process of moderation, so they're going to check. One, I think they're going to check if your gameplay is actually good enough to help other people, because I don't think they're going to want Whipple's gameplay, the amount he falls off stuff. But two, they've obviously got to check for obscenities and profanities and stuff that can offend people. So it's got to be as clean a gameplay clip as possible. But yeah, why not? Let's get more options out there to help people built into the system that they're playing on. Let's make it as easy as possible to access this information rather than just poking at buttons blindly in the dark, trying to hope you've guessed what keywords they used in their title.
Hey, I think it's cool. I hope they add my YouTube channel if anyone watches my game clip, and that way they can subscribe to it as well. But that's a big ask. Well, speaking of Rudix being on Xbox International, there will be a majority of Xbox games are actually being planned to be released on PS5. So, further talks are evolving, and there are rumors saying that Starfield and Gears of War are coming up next down the pipeline to be added to Sony devices. I believe that the 4 games were just the start. If they now have this portal to bring their games to more audiences, to more members, there was a podcast where Phil Spencer was talking about how he needs to find a different strategy to grow the consumer base, because right now they're hitting a wall in which there's no new people picking up these consoles. The consoles that are being sold are mostly through upgrades, and let alone other territories which are doing not as great in sales. So what they're having to do is bring their stuff through this portal onto other platforms, and as we saw, gamers are hungry for games. So Sea of Thieves, Hi-Fi Rush, all doing pretty well on the PlayStation storefront. So why not continue that?
Totally.
Dorgon?
I've been playing Hi-Fi Rush, and
yeah,
I've played it on both platforms now. So I've played the Xbox version of Hi-Fi Rush when it originally launched in January 2023. I'm now playing the PlayStation 5 version. And it's going to sound so Pony-esque to say, but the PlayStation 5 version's better. And it's the DualSense that makes it better. The haptic feedback of this game, of such a rhythm-based game, having those haptic feedbacks, having the resistive triggers, having some of the sounds coming out of your controller, especially with how good that controller speaker now is with the EQ and volume levels on it. Like the DualSense has changed Hi-Fi. It was already an incredible game, and it's changed it for the better. I can only imagine that's going to be the same for most of these, especially if they actually implement the haptics as well as Tango Gameworks have with Hi-Fi Rush. Sea of Thieves with haptics will enhance that no end. If they bring things like Gears, like Halo, like Gears especially, you can jam your gun in Gears, especially in the original trilogy. They have a jammed trigger when you actually jam your gun and you have to reload it again. That'll be an amazingly immersive experience just because of what the controller that the console has will do. From a business perspective, it kind of makes sense. This news came out of the back of the Game Developers Conference that was held last week or the week before. and there's a lot of news that's come out of that. Things like Xbox completely flatlining in Europe and nearly flatlining in the US to a point where they've really got to change tack on their business strategy. If they want to survive, it's not even a case of growth at this point. It sounds like survival of Xbox from what these sources are saying. So throwing their IPs on other platforms, it's a quick-fire, cheap and easy way, cheap and easy, he says, in inverted commas, of bringing a bit of extra revenue in for now. I think we're going to see a massive change from the other side of the aisle on the green side of things in how they approach video games as a whole. And I do think it's the end of Xbox exclusives that we're seeing now. They've been really successful bringing these few across to PlayStation. They're going to bring their bigger IPs across and get even bigger. Of course they are. Of course they are. Except maybe Starfield. That will tank, I hope.
I do have a question. When it comes to Hi-Fi Rush, are you able to feel the beat in your controller?
You don't feel the beat, which in some ways I'm very sad about, because that would be amazing, feeling the beat.
Yeah.
So you know when to hit the button. But at the same time, if you're constantly feeling the beat, one, your DualSense battery is going to run out really, really quickly.
Yeah, flatline.
just absolutely flatline in an hour or so. And two, you're going to miss out on the other feedback that the haptics can offer you. So I can kind of get why they went that route. But yeah, just adding those haptics in, just with the DualSense controller, it took a game that I already loved, that was already in my top 5 of 2023 of any platform, and has elevated it even further for me. It's given it a new lease of life playing through it again, and it's got a blue PlayStation t-shirt now, cool as well, so it's even cooler.
Oh, wow. They threw a blue PlayStation shirt on him. Oh, that's a lot of fun.
One on Nintendo as well, yeah. It's kind of cool that they've done that. I like it.
Well, let's throw on the headsets and jump into this brand new game being featured for the PSVR2, which is definitely definitely capturing my attention as evolving the play styles and what you can do in VR. The game looks stunning. It looks cool. We're getting out of that Nintendo 64, I feel, VR look. The movement is incredible, the way they're moving around these maps. Hey, this is a cool aspect of walking around. Stealth reminds me of like Rainbow Six Terrorist Hunt.
I'm gonna say 2 words at you. And at
oh,
chat, and
you just changed the freaking clip in the air. That was so cool.
Some of the things you do in this game look absolutely amazing, but one thing that jumped out at me was Mirror's Edge. This looks and feels like Mirror's Edge gameplay. I love Mirror's Edge. It was just that first-person free running on a PlayStation 3 was difficult. Put me in VR and give me Mirror's Edge, though, and the ability to launch a clip up in the air and load a gun, like, just by letting it drop in. I'm in, bro. I am in for this sort of thing. It looks stunning. This is the sort of thing I want from VR. Like, yes, it's still a first-person shooter, but it's also a first-person platformer, but it's also a flare, show off as much as you can type game. I'm really, really interested in this.
Oh, look at that boss, too. Stride Fates. Just another day at work. Wishlist now. So, really exciting title. It's in development, so we don't have a release date. But it's cool to see that they did show it off. So, something's obviously moving in the right direction on that one.
Indeed. And I feel what Ray is saying in chat here, that Mirror's Edge made him feel motion sick. I think it was the 30 frames per second. This being on VR, it's going to be at 120 frames per second, but then also it's you doing all this running and jumping, so it might be even worse. We'll have to find out. We'll stick Ray in a VR2 at some point and see what happens.
Oh, there's N7. Thanks for joining the show, N7. Inadvertently.
Hi, N7. Hi, N7.
Let's get into PSVR 2 while we got our helmets on. there is a firmware update which includes new support for NVIDIA's GPUs, pointing to the wired PC VR connection. So we are just seeing more evidence that the PSVR2 and PC VR are coming together sometime in the near future. Yeah, it's good to see. Good support, access to more games.
It's actually the removal of something that's caused this. It used to be that you had to have a DisplayPort codec recognition for PSVR2 to work. So people who were trying to mod it to get to work on PC previously, they needed a USB-C to send a DisplayPort connection, because that USB-C port on the front of the original PlayStation is apparently a DisplayPort cable, a DisplayPort port. Who knew that? I didn't at the time. So yeah, if you've got a USB-C display, apparently plugging it in there gives you HDMI 2.0 output sort of thing. So
I
they've
didn't know
removed
that.
codec.
That's cool.
They've removed the requirement for it, which is huge, because it means it can then just go into any USB-C port. It doesn't need this specific codec to work, and that means things like NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel GPUs can push VR information to this headset. There's still a lot more work that needs to be done in the modding community to get it to work, especially with this change. It makes their life a bit easier, but it's one of the major hurdles overcome. But also it does, as you say, point towards this becoming a dual-purpose headset, which should give us a lot of life in the PlayStation VR2 headset, because if it's available as one of the cheapest options on PC VR and they design a game for it there, they're also going to put it on PlayStation VR. So sooner the better, I feel. Bring it on. Let's go.
Yep. Awesome. Well, let's take off the headsets and jump into one of the most talked about games this month. And that is Dragon's Dogma 2. If you picked this up on PlayStation 5, check it out now. There is an update, which is now adding the option to start a new game when save data already exists. So this is fantastic. Quality of life, something that really should be included on the launch of any game. You should be given the option to start again. Then there was a lot of obviously updates, and I think adding the option for ray tracing and motion blur and frame rate, all of those things really should have been there. So I think we're really just coming up to, those day one patches that really bring everything up to the standards of what we feel games should be released today. It's a sad state that most games on release are not 1.0 worthy, in my opinion. But most games are often best playable 6 months after release, and it's sad to say that these days.
Yeah, it's not just Dragon's Dogma that's experienced that. We had it with Spider-Man 2, missing some accessibility features at launch. Like, accessibility features like this, not being able to turn motion blur off on a 60 frame or 120 frame per second screen. It's like, you don't need motion blur at that many frames, and it just makes your game look crap. Why even include these things? It's not a good design choice. The lack of new game at launch. Basically, they launched an unfinished title and wanted us to pay for it and hoped that they wouldn't have to do any more work after it. That's what it feels like from a consumer perspective. Personally, I'm sick of feeling like that with a lot of AAA games that are coming out. So I'm stopping looking at a lot of AAA games. I'm looking at these AA's that come with a much better experience. The likes of your Helldivers, the likes of your Hi-Fi Rushes, the likes of your Pal Worlds and such, because they offer a better experience for a lot lower financial investment from us, the player, and they give you more in return. It's a very, very sad state of the AAA game sphere at the moment, where they just launch in terrible, terrible states, and all you can do is give them a negative rating.
Yeah, and that's why I say games are often better, after updates. And this next game, sings true to that rule. Cyberpunk on release sort of really showcased that games are not releasing finished anymore. However, they put in the time, they put in the work, and now if you play Cyberpunk, it is a much different game, fully fleshed out, lots of improvements. Gameplay is absolutely amazing, I would say. Like, I love this gameplay, and I'm not a first person shooter perspective type of person, but there's something really fun about this game. The story is obviously movie-esque quality blockbuster. You feel like you're in a AAA blockbuster Hollywood movie. And you know, I'm a big fan of Keanu Reeves. Shout out to Canada. So, got to
Who
give it
doesn't
up
like
to the
Keanu
Canadians.
Reeves? It's Keanu Reeves. He's beautiful. He's the one. He's Neo. He's Constantine.
Exactly.
He's Jack Tretton. He's some of the best characters to have ever walked the screen, and now he's in this as well. But the
He's
reason
in
you're
Bill
talking
and
about
Ted.
this is he's Ted Theodore Logan. Yeah, exactly. Of course. But the reason you're talking about this is they've got a free weekend coming up, and this is what you were talking about at
Yes.
the top of the show, where we have very different ideas on this. Because my
Yes.
idea is why
Right.
Cyberpunk 2077 English, that would be useful. Cyberpunk 2077 has been available for 4 years now, and 25 million units sold, millions of hours of playtime. At this point, especially with it being sold for like £4 at launch, considering the catastrophe that launch was, everybody who wanted to play Cyberpunk 2077 has played Cyberpunk 2077. Why are we doing a free weekend for it now, 4 years down the line? It's not like it's getting new story updates. It's not like it's going to be getting anything more at this point. CD Projekt Red have already moved on to the Witcher 1 remake and Witcher 4. I'm just questioning why they're putting a free weekend out there, unless it's just to keep the name CD Projekt Red in the news cycle.
Here's my perspective on it. Obviously, you are correct. I mean, the sales of this game are 25 million. So who's ever really, you know, shown any type of interest in this game is going to have played it at this point. However, I feel like 4 years is a long time. And we have a lot of gamers in a certain subset of a population that are mass amounts of people in the Fortnites, in the Minecrafts, in the Roblox. And my perspective is some of them get older and they want to play different things. Now, that may be a subset of group that may be interested in seeing a free trial come along, get into this game, and think it's really cool. Another subset of gamers that could be interested in this are people who threw away Cyberpunk in the very early days and said, I will never come back to this. And at that point, they missed out on the experience. However, seeing what the game looks like now will provide a different experience and may bring some of those people who said, no, never again, back into the fold. So those are two avenues of gamers that they may be trying to capture. Now, they're only saying it's 5 hours of playtime, so it's not even a free weekend. It's kind of like when you log in, the clock starts. And there you go. Because if you had the weekend, you could probably sit down and sesh all the way through it, right? So, this I think it may bring more people into the fold, and it may be some sort of fundraising thing they're looking to do for their next title.
Maybe. We'll see. I'm not going to be trying it. I was one of those. I was burned by The Witcher 3, saw the catastrophe of Cyberpunk 2077. I'm basically written off CD Projekt Red until the game's like 10 years old. That's when I will be picking those titles up, when they're fully finished, completely fixed, and actually playable. And I feel there's a lot of people also in that boat. I know a lot of folks have really enjoyed it, especially with the Phantom Liberty DLC. I know that's fairly recent, so there's going to be a lot of wanting to get more people in to maybe pick up Phantom Liberty. It just doesn't make sense 4 years down the line to me. But as you say, that there could be a subset of people that it'll try and pick up, and we'll see how well it goes.
We shall. Well, let's get... Oh, what up, Maker of Chaos? Thanks for coming on in. Hope you're doing well this morning. We have next a update from Ben Studios, since they've been what's the word? Gone for many days.
Oh no, you
I don't know. I feel like we haven't heard of these guys in a while. The Oregon-based developers. They need to give us something. What have they been working on? Let us know. Well, we're picking up breadcrumbs. We've seen job postings, and bad joke. It's a great joke, and I stand by it.
don't
We've
even have kids. You
seen.
can't tell dad jokes.
We're seeing job postings and rumors that they are creating a open world live service game. And that is the current rumor. What will be the contents of it? We don't know. We just see that they are hiring for it, bringing their game to this live game service. So, who knows? Who knows right now? It's obviously not around the corner. I'm hearing that 2025, PlayStation's 30th year in America, is going to be one of the biggest years for game releases. And I think they may be stacking their catalog for releasing games this year or next year.
They
However,
after the last
yeah, yeah. I mean, what do we even have coming up this year, right? So
exactly.
I think this is going to be a 2025 release in the later half of the year. That would be my prediction.
I want to know what it is.
Same.
There are worlds in which this is a very, very successful venture, and that world, I think it's only one option, is if this is a siphon filter live service game. That is the only way this works with that IP recognition. Anything else, any new live service, anything trying to riff on another successful live service, it's not going to work. You need to bring something that's completely unique, something in that stealth universe, like Siphon Filter. Bend are the ones who made Siphon Filter. They made it this global phenomenon alongside Splinter Cell and Metal Gear Solid. They were the stealth holy trio. If you can make that work in live service as like a stealth multiplayer live action or even co-op based game, I can see that doing well because it's different and people want different. People are craving it, needing it. That's the only way I can see it working. Otherwise, I hear the words live service, and outside of those few successful ones like Fortnite, like Destiny, like Apex Legends, it just spells disaster and an utterly terrible experience for us, the gamers. So, if it's Siphon Filter, I'm in. I basically just I take my money now. If it's not, I'll be walking very quickly in the opposite direction.
Now, out of the realm of impossibility, what I want is them to get Twisted Metal instead of Twisted Metal going to the chopping block and create that into a live service game. But I doubt my dreams will come true.
Twisted Metal's a Santa Monica IP, so there'd have to be some internally at Sony and PlayStation Studios for that to happen. But has been done before, so you might get your wish.
Let's move on to the next one. We got Stellar Blade demo arriving March 29th. And yes, we had the leaked demo a couple weeks back. I was unable to get my hands on it, but I really feel like this demo experience will be the defining factor whether I'm in or out. And I'm glad I get a little slice of the game to try it out to make that decision for myself on a more educated foundation. So 100% is a brilliant idea. Bring out the demo. Let me get a feel for this combat, and I want to see the polish on this game because it has been delayed, and I think for good reason because it looks astonishing.
The gameplay looks incredible. Many people have watched the demo. They know what to experience in terms of content, but it's always different when it's your hands on the controller, when you're the one in control of that character and doing the things that you're seeing on screen. It always makes a difference to the experience. I will be downloading this demo in 2 days. I've been interested in this game since announced alongside the PlayStation 5, so I am hoping that development time has meant a lot of polish. Maybe a few less jiggle physics for my tastes would be quite nice, but I'm here for the fashion game alongside that awesome combat. Yeah, I'm going to be downloading that in a couple of days and getting my own first-hand experience, just like yourself.
So let me get this right. You want less jiggle physics.
Sorry, I'll just die on you halfway through the show there. Yes, personally, I want less jiggle physics. It's not realistic. It's very off-putting, and it's not even sexy. I'm sorry, it's just not. I'm that guy who finds sexiness in realism after dying apparently on show.
This image is very telling to me. It makes me feel like there's a photo mode in the game, so I'm all for it. Although I feel like having a photo mode in this game will spawn an 18 plus photo mode group. I mean, believe it or not, there's the not safe for work Spider-Man VPs. So, yeah, I know. Check it out on your own time. Coming up.
Move on.
No, I won't be pulling up those images on the show. No. Final Fantasy 16. Yes, Roman numerals. The thing I learned from The Simpsons. The Rising Tide DLC unleashes Leviathan on April 18th. So this is more content coming to you, the gamer. If you enjoyed your time with Clive? Oh my gosh, I can't remember so much time in FF7. Hey, there's more content. New boss coming, which I think is really cool. I definitely want to jump into, fight the new boss. More content with the DLC. It puts you in the place right before the ending. So if you've played the game, you will know that's where you are. And then I don't want to do any spoilers. And in addition, one of the greatest aspects that they're adding is a quality of life. You had these powers that you were able to put in the combination of 3, and then each one of the 3 had 2 separate smaller sub-powers. Now you can save your builds and swap them out on the fly. I think that's a brilliant idea. You can have a build that's, all towards blocking and dodging. You can have a build that's all towards, say, electrical damage, and a build that's all towards, like, straight aggression. And you can swap these out on the fly. I think the game was definitely needing that type of quality of life upgrade. But hey, I mean, this game had some of the greatest combat this side of Final Fantasy. And I'm all for more content. I'm going to get into this. Oh, look at that big monster fights.
I loved Final Fantasy 16. I convinced you to buy Final Fantasy 16 last year. You weren't disappointed when you did. It's not the most traditional Final Fantasy game. There's a lot more action in it. Bad RPG mechanics, I'd say, sometimes. But there was just something about the characters, something about the combat, something about this world that was built for you that was just enticing. It drew you in, made you want to play more. And I look forward to getting back into it. I've not played the previous DLC yet. That came out in December. But at the same time that came out, God of War Ragnarok released Valhalla, and in that. So I decided to wait until I've got it all, because I did buy the double pack so that I get both DLCs, because I really enjoyed the game and I want more of it, so why not? And I'm looking forward to this coming out tail end of next month and getting into some more Final Fantasy. I love 16. 16 is a great game. I understand you die-hard Final Fantasy fans not loving it, but for me, it's a fantastic experience, and I do want more of it. And it kind of makes sense that it is set before the final fight. Basically, everything has to be set before the final boss fight, just because of how powerful that is.
Absolutely. So there are 2 updates happening here. So if you own the game, there is a free update. which comes with that quality of life update I was talking about, custom controller layouts, and then some little things here or there. And then if you grab the Rising Tide or the double bonus expansion like Dorgon did, you can get a new signature weapon, the Warrior of Light. So pretty cool add-ons, and then you get some music as well. You know, that was my very first Final Fantasy game, 16.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow, and now you've dived deep.
Well, I've done 7. After 16, I wanted to get into 7 because it was part of PS Plus, and then I was like, okay, Final Fantasy is really cool. I like the combat in Final Fantasy VII, even though it was different. It was still action-based. And then Rebirth just steps up the combat even more because they add perfect blocks now. And I really love that.
I would be interested to see your reactions to Final Fantasy 15 and Final Fantasy 13.
And then Phoenix is like Final Fantasy 10.
The problem with things like 10 and 13 is there's 2 Final Fantasy 10s and there's 3 Final Fantasy 13s. So it is a series of games on their own within Final Fantasy. I'd be interested to see how you deal with all of them. 10 is very old school Final Fantasy, very turn-based, very true RPG. 13 and 15 are where things deviate quite heavily from the past, and I'd be very interested to see how you feel about those, and then maybe go to 10 after that.
Although, staying on here for a moment, I will say that I wonder if all the Final Fantasies have the same type of themes where it's, you know, we're exploiting the world's resources, therefore the world is attacking us back. And that seemed to be the running theme in 16 as well as 7. And I'm like, wait a sec, is this the running theme in all of them?
No, it's not. They all hit on quite heavy sociological, environmental, political themes throughout. The entire series has done that one from the very, very first. You just managed to pick the 2 back to back from like 30 years apart that did the same theme.
Okay.
It's impressive, really.
Yeah. Well, let's keep moving along as we are cutting the show at 11 today, my time. Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord launches free DLC with new multi-mission pack on March 28th. So if you have the headset and you're a fan of Ghostbusters, you should check out this free DLC. Awesome to see.
Ghostbusters in VR, it just makes sense, doesn't it? You've got your proton pack, you've got your blaster, you can kick your trap out and stamp on it. I don't know if you can actually stamp on it on the PSVR because you don't have any ankle tracking, but I know you can on like PC VR where they've got like the full room trackers. But it's just Ghostbusters. You are a Ghostbuster, like a Ghostbuster, and they're giving you more of it for free, just for the same price as entry as whenever you buy it. This sounds great.
Absolutely. Although this game is great with friends, hunting down those goats, those people cross the streams. But you know, all that fun nostalgia in a game. I think it lends perfect to VR, like you said.
100%, yeah.
There is something coming out of the Uncharted world or universe. Amy Hennig is making at Skydance New Media. So this is and let me say this right, and Dorgon's going to correct me when I'm not so right. Amy Hennig was a creator at Uncharted, and she started a new company called Skydance New Media, and they're making this Marvel game.
She was the creator of Uncharted, and she called it Dude Raider before they got the Uncharted name, because she just
Dude Raider. Nice.
A Tomb Raider with a bloke in the front because it was different enough. She was the mastermind behind the original trilogy there, and she put so much work into 4 that was going to be very different before she left Naughty Dog. When she did leave, the game changed quite drastically, but it still kept that Uncharted core to it. She was still very happy with how the game turned out. Sundance Media have been around a Amy Hennig hasn't been working for Naughty Dog. I don't know whether they are a publishing company, whether they're just rights ownership or something, or they are the studio that she's now working at. Either way, she is heading this Marvel 1943 video game that's being built on Unreal. All of the gameplay that you're seeing is in-engine. That doesn't mean it's gameplay. It just means it's built in-engine. So this is the Unreal 5.4 engine doing this one. We've got no gameplay just yet. We don't know how well it's going to play. But this is a similar sort of announcement to what we got with Uncharted from Amy Hennig, which means big characters, big set pieces, big stories with incredible gameplay around. It's Amy Hennig. It's like when Hideo Kojima makes a game, I'm in. When Amy Hennig makes a game, I'm in. She is just that good, that high quality. Like, I'm on board, and fingers crossed somebody from Lucasfilm gives her the rights back to that Star Wars game that she was making as well, because I think it'd be the first Star Wars IP outside of Rogue One that I've liked in a long time. So yeah, I'm in. It's Amy Hennig. Like, she's quality.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to this, and just as well as Unreal Engine 5.4 really showing off how well games are performing and looking these days. I don't know how the consoles will be running these. We have Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition lands on PC a couple days ago. So if you wanted to jump into Forbidden West but didn't have a PlayStation 5, the adventure is now on PC. And absolutely amazing, amazing game. As we were discussing in Wibble Stream, this was actually one of the deciding factors for me when coming over to PS5. Was this title alone. It is absolutely one of the greatest adventure open world titles that I've played in recent times. Voice acting, story, out of this world, photo mode on point, graphics. My expectations now for every game moving forward is compared to this game. The performance mode is absolutely stunning. The DLC builds and improves upon the game and adds so much depth to it. I can't say more good things about Forbidden West other than I want the third one. I can't wait.
Yeah, we've both been watching Wibble stream Zero Dawn recently on PC. He's been playing it on a 4090. And we've both said, like, for a 2017 game, that thing looks utterly incredible on PC. And Forbidden West looks better than that on a PlayStation 5. So when you crank that onto something like a 4090, oh my days, I can't even imagine how that's going to perform. Like, what resolutions, what textures, what particle effects, what frame rates that he's going to be getting. Big shout out to friend of the channel, Wibblesniff here. He is streaming Zero Dawn near daily at the moment, and he will be moving straight on to Forbidden West after that. So if you want to go over there, subscribe to Wibblesniff01 and watch how the PC, like the top of the line PC, performs with these games, you're not going to be disappointed.
Absolutely. But I wanted to jump into this because it's pretty exciting and it sort of meshes two worlds together in the gaming universe. And it's free. And if it's free, it's me. So we have a free arcade racer, Asphalt Legends Unite, skidding to PS5 and PS4. So when I brought this up on the show notes, you were even taken a little bit back because you're like, wait, this is a mobile game. Wait, how are they bringing this onto the PlayStation? And I said, I know, it's crazy. It looks stunning. It looks impressive. Play together, which tells me there'll be crossplay of some sorts. I think this is really cool. It brings racing to a free-to-play world with stunning graphics. Mobile coming into console world is pretty exciting. And you know what I'm sure they're going to bring with them? The microtransactions. Ooh, there's going to be so many.
We know mobile to console works. Look at Genshin Impact. Look at what's it called, the Skytrain or Skyrail, whatever one as well.
Honkai.
We know Honkai Star Rail, yeah. We know that mobile to console works. The thing with the Asphalt series for me is, especially when it comes to steering the cars, you're not accelerating it. Just hold your phone and you steer with the gyro of the phone. And then, if you need to, you tap a little bit on the screen to hit the brake and then get it into a slide. You've got a button for NOS and such. It's a very simplistic game overall, so I'm very interested to see how they're going to change that to a console atmosphere. Are you going to have to accelerate? If you've got that granular control over the car, is there going to be play with the likes on mobile and such? But then, when I was saying that and thinking about it before the show, when I saw it on the show notes, Asphalt 9 is on Black Nut Cloud Gaming. That is a PC cloud gaming service, and it's got the mobile title of Asphalt 9 on there. So there's got to be ways. They've got to already have means of getting controller and mouse and keyboard support into these titles. So yeah, bring the latest one over, and let's have a free-to-play arcade racer on the console. We need more races that are accessible.
Yeah.
Things like Formula 1 and Gran Turismo. They can be quite pinnacle experiences, and that means you get some of the sweat, some of the most hardcore racers out there. So something a bit more arcadey will do a lot for a lot of people who just want a fun driving game.
I agree, and I think it looks great too. So I look forward to seeing it on the console.
100%.
Let's power through these last things I want to get to. Everybody, right after the show, a new Marvel game reveal incoming will be revealed. So listen, everybody, there is something awesome to do at 11 a.m. Eastern time. That is 7 minutes from now. You're going to want to head on over to @Marvel Games, and they have a reveal that is coming out. So be sure to check that out. 11 a.m. Eastern. They are going to be revealing the 6v6 hero-based Marvel shooter. So you had said something interesting to me about the Overwatch connection. Did you want to jump on that?
From what I understand now, this may all be blown out of the water in 7 minutes' time, but it's some of the original Overwatch team that are making this. It is basically Overwatch with a Marvel skin on it. So if you enjoyed the Overwatch game, like the original one, this might be something for you. I think for a lot of people, that sort of arena character shooter doesn't really fit Marvel. But I'm going to have to see how it plays, what they show off at 11 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Greenwich Mean. But we're 7 minutes away, 6 minutes away now, so we'll find out very, very shortly on that one. So let's not ruminate when they can illuminate the situation.
But it gives you something to look forward to after the show. Be sure to check it out. Something to walk away with. Now, development of Santa Monica Studios' next PS5 game appears to be going swimmingly. So it looks like everyone's having a good time, things are going well, and they decided to post a little tweet, and it's really bringing confidence that Santa Monica is going to bring another great title with a new IP to the field. So this is cool. They're giving each other the high five, saying everyone is brilliant. Cool to see. Cool to see. What do you think is going to be happening at Santa Monica?
Santa Monica are one of the best studios that PlayStation have at the moment. They churn out quality near every single time. The one and only flop that they've had was 2013's God of War Ascension, and even that was a high quality game. It was just, we'd been there, done that by that point in the series. There's a lot of talk about it being a new IP. I'm not 100% sure it is. The teams have worked on God of War for decades at this point, but if it is a new IP, we've all said we want new stuff. We want teams to take risks. We want something fresh and different. I'm here for it. We know that studio can churn out quality. We know that they don't have their staff to do so. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's something really off the wall and different, and it keeps that level of storytelling that we're used to from.
Yes. Chances are it may be, I could see it definitely being more of a Magic spin-off with maybe the Giants and Atreus. I think that's the direction most rumors are going in, but only time will tell. And obviously, things are going well. So we look forward to seeing it in the near future, and we'll be telling you all about it. Now, this is a rumor, but GTA 6 could slip as far back as 2026 due to development issues. Um, Obviously, we are going to be hearing crazy amount of rumors about GTA 6 in the upcoming couple of years. Just wanted to highlight that this game is insane amount of hype. They are putting the most amount of money behind a video game we have seen. The top talent that is out there works for Rockstar. They are putting their best minds behind this, and they have a plan to make this game last into the future, much like GTA 5 did. And they have that foresight. So I really think that none of us can really even know what Rockstar is going to be bringing to the table this time around. And I'm uber excited for it. I just realized that we are going to be waiting a long time. I'm going to be getting gray hairs before this bad boy comes out, compared to me being 23 when GTA 5 came out.
Like, GTA 5 came out on the PlayStation 3, and people were commuting to work in-game back then. Like, we've just spent the last 10 years basically living in that game. I think we can wait a little bit longer. It's one of those. They're going to need all the time that they can get to make this game worthy of a successor to GTA 5, because that has been one of those moments in gaming history where nothing can equate to it. They've got 10 years of history with it. They've got 10 years of online build with it. They may have to migrate all of that online build over to whatever the new online is with GTA 6. Who knows what's going into this game in terms of development. Take the time you need, make something that the fans are going to appreciate and love, and don't rush it out the door for a payday.
Awesome. Well, I'd love to stay and chat more PlayStation news with you, my friend. But unfortunately, I have to head off for the day. So we are going to end it here. But be sure to catch us next week for more Super PlayStation Bros. We'll be getting into it again. And so much going on. We're going to be heading off to SPG's channel later today for some Baldur's Gate 3. I'm going to be on Xbox International 7 p.m. as well as Family Game Night tonight. So, oh my gosh, you want to catch me? I'm going to be on here all the time. Otherwise, Dorgon, what have you got going on?
I have a video up on my channel about the best cloud gaming service for you. I actually have, and I can't believe I'm saying these words, 4 scripts in the works at the moment. I've got to editing one of them, and the other 3 are still in like a editing script phase. But yeah, there's 4 possible videos coming from me in the next couple of months. So keep your eyes tuned over there. And of course, you'll find me here on Super PlayStation Brothers on Cloud&Console every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern. As of next week, 3 p.m. British summertime, because clocks go forward for the rest of the world.
Yes, and I look forward to that as well. All right, see you guys. Have a good week.
Bye!
Grove. 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 Why try to believe in me? Why try do I even need to? I die with the season leaves. I glide with the season breeze. True, my mind so easily spooked. I ride just to be the me. Oh, finds hype super decently smooth. Nice type, but a cigarette.